Do old traditions still have a place in our 21st century world? Some of them, of course, such as the big holidays and 4th of July fireworks, aren't going away.
But what about the small things, the local traditions that have defined our communities? 207's Don Kerrigan is here with the story of one small town tradition that might surprise you, but still seems to be going strong.
It does indeed. Nice to be here with you. I found out about this, 6 or 8 years ago, and I've been thinking about it ever since. We're talking about the towns in the Boothbay area, and specifically their high school, Boothbay Region High School, where last month we witnessed the latest chapter in a tradition that's been going on for 100 years, maybe even more, called the Grand March.
All right, show me how we're pairing up. Here, 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 here.
Alan Crocker is a teacher, assistant principal, and athletic director at Boothbay Region High School.
So then it's not a straight line, it's not a dime.
But this is not a sports practice.
What I'm going to do is I'm not going to necessarily direct you to too much what to do. What I'm going to do is more talk about pacing. If you have to slow down, I'll ask you to slow down a little bit.
The kids are all seniors, and this is about marching.
Just remember, this right here is about where the people are going to be sitting.
As part of graduation week,
So the next time through, guys, go to the double dive and remember to aim for the chairs.
Boothbay seniors take their places in a local tradition called the Grand March.
My entire family has done the Grand March. My father, my father-in-law, my brothers, sisters, my in-laws, my wife, when here, she did the Grand March. Make sure we're directly behind the person in front of us.
And Alan Crocker did it back when he was a senior. His mother was in charge of the march for years.
Don't rush, guys. You don't need to rush.
Now, every June, it's part of his job, leading the senior class through a ritual that we are told has been part of this school for a century. So what does it mean to the community that this is still happens?
I think it means tradition, right? It means that they get to see during graduation something that's been a constant through graduation, way back when we were Boothbay Harbor High School.
The march is more than 20 minutes of intricate patterns around the gym, done by the class of 40 seniors, with a few underclassmen added to even out the boy-girl matchup.
That right there is just about a perfect pace. Nice job.
Leading them are class president Sydney Blake and student body president Griffin Christen.
It's exciting. I mean, we've always come and watched like all the other kids do it, so it's fun to look forward to doing it. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't really want to do it, but in the end, it's always good to do it.
But in 2023, does this sort of thing seem like a throwback, an anachronism?
Well, when I was younger, I honestly was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get dressed up. But as you get older, you kind of get more part of the community, and you're like, oh, this is kind of a cool, unique thing that I want to be a part of. Yeah. So watching it a couple times, and you realize how involved the crowd is. It's a pretty cool event.
Even the modern kids, it seems, recognize the tradition.
They don't roll their eyes. They know what you do. It's just part of the culture here.
That includes these three, Ryan, Grace, and Rachel.
Maybe when we came into high school, I think that's when I found out about it, because then my brother did it, and then I watched his, and then I watched the one last year.
I've got to be honest, I didn't really want to do it when I first heard of it, but now that I'm doing it, it's a lot of fun, and my mom's the principal, so I kind of have to do it.
I knew about it when I came to high school, but I've never watched one because I don't have any older siblings. I'm the oldest of three, so I haven't seen it yet. So it'll be the first time actually seeing us all matching together. It'll be cool to see it.
And about as unique as it gets.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the parade of parents of the graduates of the class of 2023.
Yes, the parents get celebrated too. School leaders believe this is the only high school in the country that still does a Grand March. And the school's Alumni Association worries it might fade away.
We ask all of you in the upcoming years to join the forces with us to keep this tradition sacred as it has been for many, many years.
But first, showtime. It's how they have done graduation week at this school as long as anyone can remember. 2 by 2, then 4 by 4, the kids paraded through their paces just as Mom and Dad or Gram and Gramp or others did before them.
Yeah, my grandmother was class of 1958, the second graduating class here. She was salutatorian, I'm salutatorian. So it's a fun connection.
My grandparents were talking about, watching her daughter and son do it and how important it is to watch me do it as her grandchild.
Time and tradition do not always march to the same tune. And even the alumni president worries whether the Grand March can last.
I think classic small town tradition is just something that our town kind of values.
We've always been a really close town,
Yeah.
and our town puts so much into our school in each class that it's good to show off for them and show that we care and that we thank them. So it's good to do that for them too.
I feel like the community as a whole, which we want to make happy, that's what I'm doing it for.
So once again, they marched. This town's young people showing they have learned that connections matter. Holding time and change at a distance. Holding town and tradition close, as the Grand March has done for generations.
There they are, the graduates of 2023.
Our thanks to Boothbay Region Television, the local access channel, for the video of the Grand March itself. Now, you might be wondering about cost in this. There is cost, but the high school tells us that the students and their families pay for the tuxedo rentals and for the gowns, but they get donations that drive the cost down to keep it as low as possible, and they make sure that anybody with financial need is also covered through that. So pretty interesting thing. A tradition, will it last? The head of the Alumni Association said that's going to be up to kids of the future.
Absolutely extraordinary story.
I think it's sweet, and I love that they celebrate the parents. I think that's great too.
Yeah, some of them looked like it might have been a surprise in the way they dressed for it, but they had a good time. I saw some grandparents in that line too.
Oh, it's awesome.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks.